Hey viewers, welcome to another game of Casual Pro Gamer. Today we're doing another StarCraft 1 vs 1 match or game. And this is part of a best of 5 series, I believe. At least, well, that's as far as I know. This is Dreamhack Valencia. And MForGG here is playing the Terran in the bottom part of the map. Whereas LiquidTaeJa is the Terran in the top part of the map. So we will see how that turns out. Obviously the builds will be pretty similar. Going for the supply depot. Both of them choosing to build that inside the base between the two gas geysers to prevent the mobility of the enemies, as well as just keep the SCV that's building it close to the minerals so that it can go back to mine as soon as possible. Obviously, we're still building those SCVs whenever we can. Refinery coming up for our opponent here, for MForGG. So he's called ForGG, right? Whereas TvT is going for a barracks first. So there's a little bit of a change there. He will be going for those geysers, but it will apparently take a while. So we will see from the scout whether this is a forced cross positions or not. Seems like he is running straight towards that. Maybe this... No, this is a 4-player map, right? I mean, there's not a base over here. Yeah, and there's another base over here. But it is forced cross positions. He is running straight towards his opponent. So not even doubting where he is. And the command center still not transformed. Well, you do that after you have your initial troops out, I guess. Because you want to build as many SCVs as possible for that beginning. And now the SCV actually pulled off an enemy SCV. And that is going to chase him around a little bit. So barracks into factory. So the factory coming up, the refinery is being mined. And yeah, finally a refinery going down over here. Which means that he's going to be behind severely because his refinery isn't even up yet, and his enemy is already building those factories. Probably already completed that by the time he starts to mine. Well, he's starting to mine now, and the factory is complete in 10 seconds. So yeah, about 20 seconds behind. Well, not behind. Yeah, after about 20 seconds this factory goes up. Factory is going to produce a Hellion, but the main thing here is the starport coming up. So the starport created immediately after that factory. That means, well, and especially with the command center going down here, which is kind of strange to be honest. But that means that our blue player here, ForGG, is going for a straight rush into starport. He does have that tech lab on there, so that is going to be a Banshee rush. And we will see the Banshees coming out in a few seconds. And there you go, first Banshee coming out. And that might actually do a whole lot here. Bunker is coming up because he knows he's up against a factory at least. And must be worrying about this, this Banshee, because he knows that's a possibility. Yeah, he does get his command sensors transformed now, so he does have scan. But the scan is not going to kill the Banshee. The scan is going to detect the Banshee if the Banshee is in fact going for stealth. For now it's not, it is just a sole Banshee. And he is building a reactor onto that. Oh, there's the Banshee. It did get spotted by that scan. And let's see what his reaction is to that. So supply depot, yeah, that's not a real reaction. Oh yes, starports of his own. Oh, going to build Vikings. But the Viking is going to be way too late to deal with this. And yeah, so the Hellions running in with the Banshee. And they are going to overwhelm the defenses that are here. But he's not giving up yet. The tank is coming out to deal with those Hellions. and the Marines as well as the Viking coming up to deal with this Banshee. And wow, the Banshee almost gets taken down. It will be taken down by this this Viking, and he did not get a whole lot done with it. So let's see what the eventual, well, breakdown here is. 2 workers killed and 7 units total, but he lost 5. So overall, I would say that is a loss for him. Let's see the units lost. Yeah, that's 650. He lost way more resources than the red player. Red player, very good recovery there. I thought he would be too late on his defense, but actually he was just in time. So yeah, the Viking goes down because 1 Viking versus 2 Vikings. Yeah, that's not something you're going to win. So he is going for that tech lab enhancement as well. So also going for those Banshees, but yeah, that's not going to work because well, there are already Vikings out, and you need to be there before the Vikings come out. Tech lab on the barracks then. What's he going to make? So I don't know if this is the finals, by the way. I just know the tournament. I don't know which state the tournament is, or which states of the tournament this is. Reactor coming up on the starport, which means either Vikings or Medevacts. Both are okay choices, I guess. And he's going to leave this reactor to build another one. So what's he going to build here? One of the barracks? Yeah, so he's not going to... Okay. Oh, he wanted to switch those, and yeah, well. Going to build another tech lab then. Going into, well, something he saw probably here that made him go for that. Yeah, I did not see the scan go down, obviously, because that is not on the minimap. Well, you do get a little bit of a blink on the minimap, I guess. But hey, we have the 1 factory, 1 barracks, 1 starport, and he is also trading places. Going to build a new factory over there. The Vikings running in first here. Going to check out the defense. And yes, they are going to get tagged up a little bit, but that is not a big deal. So the tanks do not have siege. The enemy tanks do have siege, and that is going to make a big difference. 1 HP. 1 HP Marine, and he's going to land the Vikings because there are no air units. Just going to take out this tech lab. And then the factory runs to the back of the line so that the tanks at least can't attack it anymore. And he's going to have to repair that a little bit. Well, for now it's okay, but if it gets tagged up a little bit more, then it's done. And those tanks have an incredible range. As you can see, they could just hit that that thingy, that reactor, or no, I think that was yeah, that was a reactor. I'm not sure if that was a tech lab, but I think that was a reactor. But it might have been a tech lab because he needs those upgrades as well. So yeah, this is not going very well for the red player, sacrificing all of his units to kill 1 tank. But there's another one, and well, he did kill a couple of Vikings here. But yeah, these tanks have such huge range that it is very hard to get anything done with them. Against them. Not with them. Blue Flame Hellions now coming in, which means they have the pre-igniter, and lots of upgrades coming up for our red player here. He is going to depend on or rely on upgrades to actually make this work. Going to take out the tanks. Oh, but it's tank versus tank, and he lands the Vikings. Going to clean that up, but all of the tanks go down except for 1. And wow, he actually held that off. He lost 1 more supply depot. And that's about it. So now he's going to counterattack, I'm assuming. So the tank will heal slowly because there's an SCV repairing it. And yeah, let's see what the plan is now. Going to expand again. Well, here there's an expansion going off and a new expansion being built. So yeah, still plenty of troops to defend. So there's really no risk in that. Scouting barracks then. And of course his Hellions are scouting around a little bit. Hellions are great versus Marines. Not so much versus Marauders, also not versus tanks, but they are great against the Marines. So if you overextend on Marines and just build too many of them, you will pay the price. So he's going to leave one Marine at the watchtower, then going to get the next one, so the other watchtower, leaving one Marine over there. That is not the watchtower, dude. Move. So yeah, the watchtower Marine gets killed. He then captures this one and sees this barracks floating in. But that's about all he sees because, well, the army is on the other watchtower. Loses another Marine. And losing one Marine, obviously not a big deal. And there comes the huge clump of tanks. There are just so many tanks here. And he's not going to be able to break that at all. The red tanks, yeah, there's just one in range. And oh wow, that actually worked out for him. Well, he's going to lose these two tanks, but the red player actually doing a great job of killing those tanks because they were clumped up. So 2 shots basically took out that entire line of tanks. I did not expect him to be able to do that. Because, well, 6 tanks against 3, that is normally a done deal, especially with those Vikings flying above and with those extra, well, Hellions and such that came in. But hey, doesn't matter. All that matters is the result of it. So the barracks here scouting around. Just sitting there. It seems that he is now producing some medevacts to to heal up the troops, because he is focusing mainly on Marines and Marauders, where his opponent is mainly focused around Hellions and tanks, especially Hellions. So the Hellions, as I said, great against only one unit in the Terran arsenal. They don't really work against tanks or, well, air units or Marauders. They work only against the Marines, and there are only, well, a few Marines here. Seems like a whole lot, but it really isn't. I mean, these Marauders are way more dangerous against his army. And of course the tanks are super dangerous against everything. Tanks basically shoot everything. And yeah, more damage versus armored, but that is kind of logical, because otherwise they would fail against armored units, and that would not be good. Tanks need to do very well against everyone, because otherwise it doesn't feel like a tank. So he's going to come in here, and yeah, the tanks are going to shoot at this army, but since there is no backup for the tanks are going to go down. One tank still available though, because it did get the support just in time. And yeah, all of the Marauders now pretty low, and a few Marines still left to defend against those air units, because these Vikings, they can come in and just snipe the medevacts, which are a crucial part of this army. But yeah, there are still a couple of Marines left to take those down. I think he could actually trade it, but that's definitely not worth it. Raven coming in. The Ravens, yeah, they do help out quite a lot against the Marauders, but he's going to snipe this Raven. No, he's not going in for it. I was sure he was going to try to snipe that Raven. Actually, all of the Marines died, except for 2. And now he needs to either resupply that, which is what he's doing, or he needed to retreat. And the Marines, yeah, really in some trouble, because the Marines are really all that's holding off these air units from destroying his medevacts, and he just lost 2 medevacts. Only has 1 remaining, and he did manage to get a few of them back to safety. But yeah, these Marines are really necessary to hold off the air units. But they're now going to just run in because, well, this army didn't have any air units, so yeah, that army is going to get destroyed by these Hellions, and I think the blue player is just going for it. He knows that the entire army is over here, and he thinks, well, I might lose this this orbital command here if I land it, but if I don't land it, then it's all good. Going to maybe lose a few SCVs, but that's about it. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens here. The blue army is now in the base of the red player, and no, this wall-off actually good enough to hold him out, because he needs to click those buildings, and a few tanks are going to hold that off. 5 tanks over here, and yeah, these tanks can't get in range, because if they get in range, yeah, you definitely have a problem. So yeah, air units over here, and the air units might actually make the difference here, because with air units you can actually well, just get the scout on this without being in range of anything. So the little bit of an army that's over here is still alive, and wow, taking out a little bit of the blue army, but not nearly enough. And the blue army, yeah, it's just sitting there. Well, these are all tanks, so they're just sitting there until they have something better to do. And this Raven is full of energy now, so he might want to drop some alder turrets to take out like this, or maybe this entire line, because dropping like 3 alder turrets in here, I don't know, you can build 4, right? Yeah. Yeah, there you go, building some alder turrets, building a point defense drone, which only works against well, missiles, so not against tank shells. But yeah, he got a lot of drones in this one, and he's actually going to make the difference here in the drone count, because now he actually has 30 to 22. And yeah, that is a big difference. That is a big difference. But is it going to be enough? Yeah, not for now, because these Vikings and this Raven are probably going to go down. Yeah, he just flew them straight over the army, so not even flying them away from the army or something like that. But I guess he just didn't need them anymore anyway, so he stopped microing them. Oh, he did need them. Apparently doesn't have any minerals anymore. I did not pay attention to that, but yeah, we did see this this one coming up. Let's see the income. Yeah, it's pretty much equal in harvesters. There's a little bit of an advantage for the red player, but the main advantage is in what he already mined, because he already had this 3rd base, and he still had minerals over here, and he didn't have minerals over here. But yeah, well, that's okay. So he had 1, 2, 3, 4 bases against 1, 2, and yeah, we saw the blue player go for all kinds of offensive choices. So building a lot of yeah, of units in the beginning instead of getting that those upgrades, or no, not upgrades, expansions. And yeah, he has to pay for that now, because he doesn't have the ability to build up a new army while this army is coming in. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you for game 2.